This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there, hello there. Jeff Cutter Diver welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, October the 25th, is an icon of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know it's a little biased, but screw you. He's 55 years old. He used to play for the Leafs. Quebec, when they were still the Northeast, the New York Islanders, Tampa, Detroit, and Chicago. First overall pick in 1985, the year of my birth. The team he played for 3 times, had 3 stints with, which is weird. Captaining the team for 4 years. And he was known as a big physical player that, unfortunately, it may have led to injuries that ruined his career. But anyway, Wendell Clark is the guy, if you must know. So Wendell Clark played for Saskatoon. He was a defenseman, but he also could play left wing. And the Leafs liked his versatility. And with the Leafs having the worst record in the 1985 season without tanking, mind you, they thought Wendell Clark was a better pick to be number one. Craig Simpson. Yes, that Craig Simpson was also had a chance to play in the 85 draft. I wonder if the 85 draft actually was all it was cracked up to be. In a sense, kind of, I guess. Only 3 All-Stars were on the team. Craig Simpson was an All-Star? Wow. Third pick went to New Jersey to Kitchener. Craig Rulandon. Craig Rulandon was a Kitchener Ranger? Fuck, I didn't know that. Why did I not know that? Jim Sandlak I think he was a Kitchener Ranger. No, Jim Sandlak was from Kitchener, but he didn't play for the Rangers. He played for London. He got drafted by Vancouver. Dana Morrison was drafted 5th by Hartford. Alf Dolan and Dave Manson were the only other All-Stars who were picked. Kelly Johansson, who Buffalo picked 14 in 1985, should have been an All-Star. And there was another Kitchener Ranger who was in the first round. That was David Lada, who was drafted by Quebec. Lada, not Lada, like the car. Anyhow, Clark's physical play was huge. He had 227 penalty minutes in his rookie season, which is still a Leafs record by rookies. He scored 34 goals, though, to lead the team. Unfortunately, he didn't win the Calder. I believe that was Gary Suter, was that not? Gary Suter? Yeah, it was that bastard. Fucker. Paul Kariya fans will hate this guy. So anyway, Clark had problems. He had a back injury that ruined him. He still had a spark in the latter part of the Harold Ballard era, which was the darkest period in the Story franchise's history. Damn right it was. Clark was decent, and then he was named captain for the '91 team after Toronto's captain Rob Ramage. Yes, that Rob Ramage actually left for the expansion draft to Minnesota. And let it be known that Minnesota, due to some convoluted stuff, had to take part in the NHL expansion draft alongside San Jose because some of Minnesota's players would be picked by San Jose in a dispersal draft because the owners of the North Stars at the time, the Gunn brothers, wanted a squad in San Jose. So they were allowed to take the San Jose squad and then sell the Minnesota North Stars to other guys. But anyway, Clark was named captain. He did a good job. In his second season captaining the team, the Leafs scored the most wins and points by a Leafs team at that time, of course, and made the playoffs. Thanks to his bruisiness. And the fact of the matter is, Wendell Clark had the hat trick in Game 6 of the Western Conference to send the Leafs to overtime against the Kings, but they fucked up. Anyway, Wendell Clark, surprisingly, that Western Conference final, Game 1, he got hit by Martin McSorley in that tough hit that made. Doug Gilmour got hit by Martin McSorley, and Clark decided to beat the tar out of McSorley and all that. The weird thing was Clark's cousin Barry Melrose coached the Kings. Kind of weird. Clark would score 46 goals for the Leafs in the '94 season, only in 64 games. But unfortunately, the Leafs fell again in the conference finals. Clark had high value, and then for some unknown reason, the Leafs Brain Trust decided to trade him on the day of the '94 NHL draft to Quebec for Matt Sundin. it turned out to be a very decent move. I guess they couldn't have Clark and Sundin. So anyway, Clark's captaincy went to Doug Gilmour, of course. Clark played for Quebec in the lockout shortened season. Clark was actually in a contract dispute with the team after Quebec left for Colorado. Before the 96 season started and before, the Avalanche would play their first regular season game in Colorado, he was put in it was a 3-team trade. Clark went to Colorado. No, Clark went to the Islanders. That brought Claude Lemieux from the Devil. Claude Lemieux was traded from the Devils to the Avalanche, and Steve Thomas was traded from the Islanders to the Devils. Clark would play some games for the Isles. Unfortunately, though, he didn't last. He was traded to Toronto, and the Leaf fans were happy as can be that Clark went to Toronto. But the bad news is that the Islanders got a first-round pick from the Leafs. Okay, no big deal. But the worst part about it is the bad news was that it was the 4th pick in the 97 draft because the Leafs sucked in 97. And worst of all, it was Roberto Luongo who was that draft pick. So the Leafs could have used him as a successor to Potvin. Clark would end up signing as free agent with Tampa and got to be on the All-Star team. At the trade deadline, he was dealt to Detroit so that Detroit could try to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. They're the 2 defending champions. Clark would sign with Chicago later in 1999, after playing half a year with the Red Wings. But he was back to the Leafs in 2000. Clark wasn't really effective. However, Clark did have a few good moments against the Devils in the playoffs. So, yeah, he retired in 2000. His number 17 was raised to the rafters as an honored number in 2008. However, in 2016, the Leafs Brain Trust finally decided that all the numbers raised to the rafters who were not retired, the only 2 retired numbers for the Leafs beforehand was number 5, Bill Veruca, and number 6, Ace Bailey. All of the numbers would be retired. So nobody is allowed to wear number 17. He owns Wendell Clark's Grill and Sports Lounge in 4 spots: Saskatoon, Brampton, Oshawa, and Burlington. Yeah, Clark's first cousin is ex-NHLer ESPN commentator Barry Melrose. He's also a cousin of tough guy Joey Kocur. Wendell Clark's son actually played in the OHL for Ottawa and was selected 47th by the Washington Capitals. So he only went to 2 All-Star games in his career, which was kind of a crime in a sense. But he scored 330 goals in 793 games, not bad, and 37 playoff goals in 95 games. So, yeah, Wendell Clark was an icon. Oh, that for Leaf fans. If only injuries didn't derail him. And everyone I know would probably say the same thing. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.